Hello everyone, my name is Maudlin. I'm a mad scientist of fashion. If you've been following along at home, you know that I've been doing my latest experiments in the realm of coquette and weirdcore to create coquettamine. That's been my latest research project, and it went very well. My last video was a lookbook of all of the little looks that I've done in this style. I hope you'll go check it out. Because I have some more musings and thoughts about this aesthetic in the form of poetry. These are poems that I think perfectly work for this sort of demure, but a little creepy, but a little surreal, but a little darling and sweet and absurd and weird and wacky and wild. She's everything. The coquettamine girl, the coquettamine person is everything. They're everything. So I want to just delve into some poetry that I think really works for this aesthetic, this vibe, if you will, and I'm just going on vibes alone. I'm not going to go too much into why, what the poem means or like why I'm associating it with it. If you get it, you get it. Hopefully you'll see where I'm coming from. I'm just going to read a poem in its entirety or a little excerpt. I want to start off really strong with a poem that I think really sums up the vibe of this aesthetic, and that poem is called Nightmare Kiss by Tony Barnstone. The middle of a kiss, and though he opened up wide and wider, her own small jawbones gave a little crack and stuck. And look what happened. As if she'd fallen in an open grave, he swallowed her at last. And then she wandered in a dark, saturated country where the red land throbbed with capillaries under electric stars. A kiss had brought her there, a simple kiss that rained and filled her head with blood, a nightmare kiss, a wrong man kiss. Why had she kissed a man with such a mouth, with such thick teeth and jaws, such tongue, instead of kissing someone who would let her out, kissing someone nicer, who ate less? Now, we've all been there, am I right? If I've lost you, this aesthetic is not for you. This is a coquette poem. This is a weirdcore poem. The perfect union. Love it. Nightmare Kiss by Tony Barnstone. Alright, next up, I'm going to recommend this entire poetry collection called Dispatch from the Future by Leigh Stein, but I would like to read in A Brief History of My Life, Part 26. I can't go to the East Village anymore because that's where all the ghosts are. Yes, I went and got older again. I made the mistake of having a birthday and taking it to the mansion where birthdays fall downstairs and break their necks. Be careful, I've never been comfortable before, and you should know that. You should know I've outlived everyone in my family, and now I'm your guide to the haunted universe. You see? Are you starting to see? Are you starting to get it? Alright, next I will just recommend all of Howl by Allen Ginsberg. Controversial guy, but I do think his just like wacky perspective on sometimes delicate themes work for this aesthetic. What can I say? Next up, I'm going to read from Mechanical Bull by Rennie Ament. This is quite the collection. I'm going to read a poem by Rennie Ament called Hildegaard von Bingen at the Beach. Pick up the pail of turban snails and walk like you got baby legs. Say okay, space. Okay, fish cluttering the gleaming bit of blue out there. Okay. Ankle length, unlaced boots sunk. 1/4 inch into the address. Okay. Folks in association with dissociation. Crushers of ephemeral satisfaction. Crushers who outsound good music. Turn on a healthy horse and shoot it in the head for practice. Okay, murder coming in. A little early. What do you want? Wonder. Okay. Once upon a time there was a migraine. Sky boiled over, stars fell into the sea, hissed, were extinguished. Even if it was aura, phosphenes in transit across the visual field, I called my bundle of symptoms mystic and ate sausage happily, flagellated scapulae in the convent courtyard. I know exactly what I didn't see, okay? And I'm in love with it. I mean, come on. Next, I will say all of the Death Note books by Anne Sexton are relevant, but I will be reading Clothes by Anne Sexton. An excerpt. Put on a clean shirt before you die, some Russian said. Nothing with drool, please, no egg spots, no blood, no sweat, no sperm. You want me clean, God? So I'll try to comply. The hat I was married in, will it do? White, broad, fake flowers in a tiny array. It's old-fashioned and stylish as a bedbug, but it suits to die in something nostalgic. And I'll take my painting shirt, washed over and over, of course, spotted with every yellow kitchen I've painted. God, you don't mind if I bring all my kitchens. They hold the family laughter and the soup. For a bra, need we mention it? The padded one that my lover demeaned when I took it off. He said, where'd all it go? I'll stop there, but do you see? Okay. Next up, I'm going to just show you this little lyrics book from Have One on Me by Joanna Newsom. All of her lyrics qualify. All of them. If you know, you know. Next, I'm going to read from this collection of poems by Dorothy Parker, an excerpt from the poem The Passionate Freudian to His Love. Our desires shall be from repressions free, as it's only right to treat them. To your ego's whims I will sing sweet hymns, and ad libido repeat them. With your hand in mine, idly will recline amid bowers of neuroses. While the sun seeks rest in the great red west, we'll sit and match psychoses. So come dwell a while on that distant isle, in the brilliant tropic weather, where a Freud in need is a Freud indeed, and we'll always be young together. Alright, again, recommending this entire collection for weird little coquette girls and boys and etc. This is a really bleak, depressing, horrifying, beautiful, wonderful collection of poems by Valzhyna Mort. It is called Music for the Dead and Resurrected. It is so beautiful and bleak. Beautiful Valzhyna is from Belarus, and she just has an incredible perspective on growing up in war-torn places. Let's see. I'll read an excerpt from To Antigone, a Dispatch. Allegro for shooing off the police, adagio for washing the body, scherzo for soft laughter and tears, rondo for covering the body with good earth. Antigone, dead siblings are set. As for the living, pick me for a sister. I too love a prosper funeral, drag, dig, and sister's pop-up burial. Landlady, I make the rounds of graves, keeping up my family's top-notch properties. On a torture instrument called an accordion, I stretch my bones into the fingers of a witch. Next up, this is another stellar collection of poetry called Toxicon and Arachne by Joyelle McSweeney. I will read an excerpt of one of her Toxic Sonnets. Hung up, electrocuted by my master, still gravity and wind can make me turn and ask for blessings from the four directions, of which he is the lord. Warlord, graveyard, bone drill, pest. Day elapses in an exhalation. I'm a dog bride in a dress of livid carriers, wasp, mite, moth, fly, who instills her rows of eggs into my shoulders like ranks of seed pearls. Wings are grains of shiny rice, white projectiles caught in the flesh of the bride. By death I am so occupied, and I'm half American, for opportunity knocks in me. Life converts its currency. I hope I'm making sense. I'm on my meds, if you were wondering. I'm still on my meds. But this rings, this resonates. I hope it's resonating with you too. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to read from this collection of poems about movies and movie theaters. This poem is called The Death of Marilyn Monroe, and it is by Sharon Olds. The ambulance men touched her cold body, lifted it heavy as iron onto the stretcher, tried to close the mouth, close the eyes, tied the arms to the side, moved a caught strand of hair as if it mattered, saw the shape of her breasts, flattened by gravity under the sheet, carried her as if it were she down the steps. These men were never the same. They went out afterwards, as they always did, for a drink or two, but they could not meet each other's eyes. Their lives took a turn. One had nightmares, strange pains, impotence, depression. One did not like his work. His wife looked different, his kids. Even death seemed different to him, a place where she would be waiting. And one found himself standing at night in the doorway to a room of sleep, listening to a woman breathing, just an ordinary woman breathing. I love that poem. It is very hard to write poetry about Marilyn Monroe without feeling like you're taking a piece of her. That's what we do to Miss Monroe, is we take pieces of her, we don't let her rest. But this poem kind of focuses on the impact of an absence, and I absolutely adore this poem. It's so meaningful and profound and thought-provoking. And I will say, you know, say what you will about the Coquette movement, but it is interesting that it has martyrs. Do you know what I mean? I will say, like, Marilyn Monroe is a martyr for the Coquettes. Sharon Tate, for example. You know, Lana Del Rey's Sanity and Normalcy. Do you know what I mean? Like there's martyrdom in the Coquette world, and that is part of why I find this aesthetic so interesting and why I wanted to combine it with weirdcore in the first place. Well, I hope that was illuminating. I hope that was thought-provoking, interesting. These poetry videos I don't do very well, but that's okay. I really like doing them. So, tough titties. I love poetry. If you have a poem that you love or that you hate that makes you think of this aesthetic, please feel free to talk about it in the comments. Always so curious to hear about from you. And until next time, bye!